We're back! Hello and welcome to Haunted Montreal's Spooky Story Sessions. I'm your host, Holly Rhiannon, and today I'm going to tell you all about the ghost of l'Esplanade Street. Here at Haunted Montreal, we bring you ghost stories in both English and French every Saturday, except when we're on holiday, but we're back now. Before we get into today's story, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you get notified every time we've got a new tale to share. And hey, if you're already subscribed, thank you. Welcome back. We're so happy to see you again. Now, without further ado, let's get spooky. Jeanne Mance Park is one of the best places in Montreal for ghost sightings. Occasionally, residents even set up lawn chairs in the evening on the southeastern slope of the park on l'Esplanade Street, waiting for the apparitions to arrive. There have been many reports, some of them recent, about a mysterious ghostly soldier who has been seen limping by in the area. Witnesses have reported seeing him walking with a cane up a long set of wooden stairs and entering to one of the old homes at the dimly lit southern end of the street. Jeanne Mance Park was once called Fletcher's Field. The history of the park began at the end of the 19th century with the planning of Mount Royal Park. The city's acquisition of land for Mount Royal Park included the summit of the mountain to Esplanade Avenue between Pine Avenue to the south and Mount Royal Avenue to the north. Fletcher's Field was originally designed for military parading, however, it had many other uses. In 1878, Montreal's Crystal Palace, a gigantic piece of architecture that appeared to be made entirely of glass, was relocated to Fletcher's Field from the downtown area. Crystal Palace had originally stood at the corner of St. Catherine and University Streets. It was inspired by a much vaster building of the same name that was erected in London, England for the Universal Exhibition of 1851. It had the same barrel-vaulted shape and iron girder framework, but Montreal's version was a mere tenth the size of London's, at just 56 meters long. Plus, it had brick and not glass walls due to the Canadian winter. When Crystal Palace originally opened in Montreal, it exhibited products such as textiles, furniture, machinery, food, and Canadian art. It was moved due to issues with land ownership. McGill University owned the land beneath, and when the board and the university couldn't agree in 1877 on a price for the property, the Quebec government stepped in and purchased it on behalf of the board for $80,000. Crystal Palace was dismantled and re-erected on the newly established fairground on Fletcher's Field. Its new purpose was to form an exhibition grounds, this time near Mount Royal Avenue. Fletcher's Field was also a notable source of henbane, according to the Pharmaceutical Society of Great Britain. The psychoactive and somewhat poisonous plant, also known as Hyoscyamus niger, produces hallucinations and feelings of flight when ingested, no doubt providing some residents with endless opportunities to indulge in the substance. To the south of the field is Montreal's oldest hospital, Hôtel Dieu de Montréal. It was originally founded in what is now Old Montreal by Jeanne Mance on October 8, 1645. Jeanne Mance was the first nurse in New France, arriving in 1642 with colonists to establish the religious settlement of Ville-Marie. Sponsored by the Notre Dame Society for the Conversion of the Savage Peoples, Jeanne Mance built the hospital to treat injured colonists, soldiers, and converted native inhabitants during the wars with the local Mohawk First Nation, on whose territory the colony was built. Over the years, the Hôtel Dieu Hospital suffered 3 fires, but it continued to grow with the city's increasing population. In 1861, the hospital moved to its present site near Mount Royal. Not only was the old location near the river getting too dense and overcrowded, but the fresh mountain air was also seen as important for healing. When the living nuns and patients moved to the new hospital on the mountain, they also took all of the remains of the deceased nuns who were transferred to the chapel of the new Hôtel Dieu. 178 nuns had died over the span of 2 centuries. However, only 23 coffins were needed to carry all the dusty bones to the new location. Side note, they are still there. In 1910, at the time of the Montreal Eucharistic Congress, devout Catholics demanded that the park pay homage to Jeanne Mance as the founder of the first Hôtel Dieu de Montréal by renaming the green space temporarily. The new name for Fletcher's Field proved so popular that the City of Montreal made the name change officially permanent in 1990. But returning to the ghost of l'Esplanade Street, according to one recent source, his apparition is a bit striking, as you notice the details of his walking slowly with a cane up the wooden steps one at a time. If you're lucky, you just might see him entering into one of the buildings, located in the more dimly lit section of the street closer to Duluth. Just sit in the park across the street and wait. There are many theories about who this ghostly soldier might be. While some online rumors suggest the military apparition is of French stock, others believe he's British. One feasible theory takes us back to 1885, when Montreal was in the midst of a smallpox epidemic. During the era, smallpox was seen as the worst possible disease. Not only was it extremely infectious, but it could disfigure and even destroy people within a week or two. Infection was caused by breathing contaminated air or touching something that had been in contact with the variola virus. Following a 12-day incubation period, tiny red pustules would appear on the victim and eventually spread all over them. These would soon burst and begin oozing pus and ravaging the body. In about a third of cases, the disease killed its victim within days. In cases of survival, the victim was often left disabled and permanently disfigured, with deep red pockmarks replacing the old pustules once they had healed. In 1885, Montreal's smallpox epidemic was so bad that they had to reopen the smallpox hospital at the Hotel Dieu de Montreal to isolate patients to try to stop the spread of the disease. The smallpox hospital had been built during another epidemic in 1872 and was shuttered several years later in 1875. By 1885, it was seen as run down, and many citizens did not want to send their sick relatives there. Officials began concocting a new plan to deal with the crisis. When the number of patients rose dramatically, the buildings in the exhibition grounds to the north of Fletcher's Field were commandeered. In hopes of assuaging the fear of the citizens, authorities converted one of the provincial exhibition buildings into a clean and spacious temporary smallpox hospital. However, local residents were terrified of this disease, and those who lived near the exhibition grounds protested vigorously with a large-scale riot. The army was called in to quash the unrest and keep order. They were instructed to guard the new temporary hospital buildings. This was an assignment that many soldiers feared due to the high risk of contracting smallpox. In 1885, thousands of people died of smallpox in Montreal before the winter finally snuffed out the virus. It was to be the last time the disease ravaged the city, but not before taking a terrible toll. Overall, 9,600 people contracted smallpox in the administrative territory of Montreal, and 3,234 of them perished. Out of a population of about 167,000 citizens, approximately 2% of Montrealers were killed by the horrifying disease. Following the epidemic, it wasn't long before the smallpox hospital in the exhibition grounds was closed. Just over a decade later, in July of 1896, the exhibition buildings that sheltered the temporary smallpox hospital were destroyed by a fiery inferno that had accidentally been started when tramps squatting on the property emptied a tobacco pipe that was still smoldering, sparking the blaze. While there is little evidence today of this tragic episode in Montreal's history, perhaps the mysterious ghost of the limping soldier is the best reminder of our smallpox history. Because of the highly contagious nature of smallpox, many of the soldiers guarding the exhibition grounds contracted the disease themselves in the end. As such, there is speculation that the ghostly soldier who haunts l'Esplanade Street could very well be one of the hospital guards who was debilitated by smallpox in 1885 while on duty. Why he's seen going up a flight of long wooden stairs is anyone's guess. Are you a Montreal resident, or perhaps a tourist who has experienced something strange on l'Esplanade Street or in Jeanne Mance Park? If so, we'd love to know. As always, we're really curious to hear your theories about what could be going on. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's great to be back. If it's your first video, we do hope that you'll stick around for the next one. We post videos in both French and English every Saturday. If you'd like to learn more about the organization founded by the talented Donovan King, it's all listed in the description down below, along with links to purchase tickets to in-person haunted storytelling tours. Remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We'll have a new video out next Saturday, but until then, stay spooky.